Boomer coming to you live from the traveling Built Ford Tough studio. Boomer Esiason, Greg Giannotti. It's Boomer and Gio on the Fan, simulcast across the country on CBS Sports Network and wherever you are in the free Odyssey app. Good Monday morning. We are live from Glen Oaks Club for the Boomer Esiason Foundation golf outing, one of the great events that the foundation does at this wonderful club and golf course. So very excited to be here today on what is an incredibly busy Monday morning with so much to talk about. And I think the biggest story is the Mets and the Phillies from yesterday. And I was so bummed out. I would equate the way I was watching this game yesterday like I was a dormant volcano for many years. And then, as the season has been going, you see, just a little bit of smoke coming up from the volcano, and you're like, is it going to happen? Is it going to erupt? And yesterday, it did. I hate the Philadelphia Phillies. I hate their fans. I hate that team. They're scruffy and weird with their long hair and just a stupid city and these loser fans. And I want to beat them so bad. And this game was up and down. They didn't die again. The Vientos home run in the ninth, I'm thinking there's no way they're losing. They're to come back 2-0. But the Phillies offense is too good. And it's just not going to be easy. And it does remind me a lot of what we saw in Milwaukee, where you had them on the ropes in Game 2. Didn't work out, but now you got to come back. You got to take care of business. Citi Field is going to be awesome. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Jay. I'm doing great. And as a matter of fact, this past weekend, starting Friday night all the way until last night, my head was on a swivel. We had so many different things going on, including the Mets and Edwin Diaz blowing up in the eighth inning. And again, I don't necessarily feel like I trust him. I know he was a big part of winning in Milwaukee, coming in and being a part of, a Game 3 that was amazing from everybody that was a part of it. And every now and again, there's going to be a pitcher that's not going to come through. And the Phillies can say the same thing about their bullpen, too, by the way. Mm-hmm. So it is every time he comes in the game, I worry. I worry that they're not going to be able to overcome whatever he's going to end up doing. And unfortunately, Carlos Mendoza still looks at him as his best relief pitcher when we all know that he's not.
Yeah, great point. There's no doubt about it. I was going to bring this up. He looks at Edwin Diaz differently than we look at Edwin Diaz. So if you think that anything you've seen from Edwin Diaz this year is going to change Carlos Mendoza as putting him into these games in the biggest moment, it's not. And if you've watched him like we have since the second he got here, you can see it on his face. You can tell with his body language what type of confidence he has in himself when he takes the mound, when he's sitting in the dugout in between innings if he's going to come back out. In 2022, he had so much confidence that year when he had the magical year. You could just see it. When he came in, he knew he was going to get people out. This year, obviously the first year he was here, it just has this different sort of look on his face. And I'm like, damn, he doesn't believe in himself. He's all over the place. He's wild, and you're just expecting something bad to happen. So, yes, that is going to be an issue going forward, no doubt, especially with this offense.
It's been an issue the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, last year was just such a wash.
And I know that, and I know that when he first got here, he probably had the worst season a closer ever had, and then came back and had one of the great seasons a closer ever had. So they see, the speed, they see the movement on the ball, but whatever it is that he's doing, I don't know if he's tipping pitches, I have no idea, but it seems like every team that he pitches against, they're on him. They know what's coming. They either know what's coming or his ball is just not moving the way that he would expect it to move. So that is a big concern for me. I think the Phillies, much like the Brewers, they have a bunch of guys that can throw 100 miles an hour. But, as you can see, guys can hit 100 miles an hour.
Yep.
It's when guys like Zach Wheeler are on the mound and all of a sudden, he is controlling the game and you can't hit him. And it looked like there were times where, Vientos, who's been one of the stars for the Mets, was overmatched against Wheeler. But then later on in the game, now all of a sudden he's up there and he's not facing that pitcher anymore, and he becomes a threat. And it's been one of the really great stories for the Mets this year is the emergence Vientos and what he has been able to do, especially here in the playoffs as well.
I mean, and to hit the home runs that he did yesterday, obviously in the ninth being the biggest one. I mean, and he didn't even catch that thing on the sweet spot of the bat. I mean, that was like up towards his hands, and he still got that thing out of
there. That's like a wiffle ball baseball park. You know that.
All right, come on.
I mean, it's a lot of home runs in Philadelphia.
I understand there are, but that is an impressive moment for a young guy in that situation. And there were so many times I thought they were going to win. I've never rooted for a team in my life in any sport that just doesn't die like this team. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Hold on for a second there, BT. Just relax.
What?
I mean, I saw your football team take down the Jets yesterday. They're 5-0, and I heard Justin Jefferson after the game going, "We got to buy, but I don't want to really go on a buy. I want to stay here and work on things."
That's great. But you obviously weren't listening to what I said. That don't die.
I was listening. I got headsets on.
Yeah, I know, but I said that don't they're dead. They come from behind. You think the game is over, and they just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. Yes, the Vikings are 5-0, but it's not like they're coming back in all these games. They lead in every single game. With the Mets, it's just like they just keep fighting. They believe that they're never out of it. I just can't remember feeling so negative in situations and then having euphoria after it because I think the team's done and then they come back. So I still believe. I mean, the way that they have played, it feels special. You just hate to waste some of the magic in a loss.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the Phillies are a good team. You know,
you're not going to sweep them.
There's a reason why they won the division, and but I would say that the Mets have played better than them. The second half of the season. But here's the thing that I would say in regards to all of this. I'm watching these games, and I have to ask you this because I know you went to the Yankee game on Friday night, right?
Well, Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. In person, watching Giancarlo Stanton, run the bases, what does it look like in person? Because on TV, it is pathetic, actually.
Yeah, the best way I could describe it is, ever show up to a game early, like at batting practice, and you're just waiting there, and a guy will come out of the dugout, and he'll just be in that light jog just because he's going to go out there and do some stretching. That's what it looks like. He looks like he's just going out there for the first time to do a little stretching before the game starts, 2 hours before the game. He doesn't look like he is trying at all. But we know this is what they have decided to do with him.
It's amazing to me. You're paying a guy $30 million a year, and I understand you're waiting for one at bat. You're waiting for that one home run during the game. It's basically all you're doing.
And he's been good in the postseason since he's been here.
I'm not saying that he hasn't been. All I'm saying is that I'm watching a guy just basically go through the motions. First of all, he doesn't even play the field.
Right.
All right. So I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he should be stretching and doing Pilates in between innings.
Maybe he is.
Maybe he should be.
Yeah.
Because if you can't bust it in a playoff game, so I just want if he gets to Game 5 here, or if I know they're going to make it to the championship series. They're going to make it to the World Series. I know. I don't even know why I'm even getting disgusted by this.
Well,
but I would think that these games mean so much to the fans and the people. That stadium was packed.
Yeah.
When they showed the overhead of the
I would hope so. It's a playoff game.
I know that. So that was 49,000 people were in that stadium for that game. And I was listening to John and Susan for the early on part of it, and they were talking about the attendance. And John was going, every ticket is paid for. And the reason every ticket has to be paid for is because they share the revenue with the players.
Yep.
So there's no freebies. And there were 49,000. It looked like it was overflowing.
It was. I mean, and you would expect it to be. They have made a decision, the Yankees and Giancarlo Stanton, that is more important to them to keep him healthy than to have him run full speed on the bases.
Game 72, I understand.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just telling you that is the stance.
We know that.
And
it
looks terrible. But they had bigger issues than that. So, that to me, we know he's going to be jogging around the bases. They won the game great, and they needed to because
the game.
They got this, Rodon coming out there tonight who God knows what you're going to get from that guy. Could pitch great. Chances are he won't. But Garrett Cole, bad.
Yep.
Aaron Judge, again, in the postseason, comes up in multiple situations and does not deliver. They're just they did not look like the dominant team that they need to be in this game one, and still won, which is a good thing. But man, if your stars are going to be mediocre again, I mean, that's what kills the Yankees when they get to the postseason is the guys that have carried them there, the $300 million guys, aren't those guys, aren't at their best in the biggest moments. So they have to, absolutely
All right,
have
there was
to
one game and they
pummel
won it.
the Royals tonight.
Right. They won the game. You know, the Royals basically gave it to them. I mean, walking guys left and right. Nobody wants to throw strikes. They're trying to get people to go after balls out of the strike zone. So give the Yankees a lot of credit for being at least somewhat consistent and not going after bad pitches. That's the thing that bothers me. You know, the outside slider that your boy Giancarlo Stanton's always swinging at.
Yeah, right. Down and away, swing over the top of it, flailing.
But it's amazing. We're sitting here. They're 1-0 against the Royals, and
Doesn't feel like
it. Doesn't feel like it just because of certain things that you see on the field. And you were there in person. I was just wondering what it looked like because it really on TV it looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, in everybody, it's just you know what it looks like. I mean. And everybody's talking about it immediately, like, how in the hell are we still dealing with this? But they have decided he can't run full speed without getting hurt.
Then don't. I'm sorry. I guess then just pinch hit him late in the game then, because he's going to go maybe 1 for 4. Maybe that one's a home run.
Yeah, but they wins above replacement, right? Is a big stat in baseball. The Yankees have decided that he is the guy who has the highest wins above whatever his replacement would be, even with him jogging around the bases.
I don't even know who his replacement would be. That's the problem. They don't have a replacement.
There you go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I want to see the offense come out and just hang 10 on the Royals tonight. That's what you need from them, and hopefully Rodon can get a little bit of a cushion so he feels more comfortable out there. Because that guy is just, I mean, I don't know how. I mean, the Cortez injury is a problem. But it's in a game 2, when you're feeling good about your team winning that game 1, and if they would have lost that game with Rodon in a short series coming out in game 2, you know how nervous everybody would be. So thank God they found a way to win game 1 against the Royals. And then so you got that obviously tonight, and then Citi Field, you get that Citi Field home playoff game. And there's a clip from Carlos Mendoza at the end of the season when they're talking about.
The nice thing is you got 2 Citi Field playoff games.
Well, yeah, I know, but you finally get the first one on Tuesday. So he's asked about it. You know, this is the last time maybe, you know, be at Citi Field, and you know you don't know what's going to happen. He's like, no, we're going to be here. We're going to play games. I'm telling you, we're going to play home playoff games. We're going to be here. I'm telling you, it's not over.
It's kind of touching the money. But
he was right.
But I guess he is the manager. He's allowed to be confident in his team,
Yes.
right? I mean, I didn't want to say that. I certainly would have jumped down your throat if you would have said that.
Sure.
But he is the manager. I'll let him say that.
Yes, and he was absolutely right. So I don't think that the Mets in that situation at Citi Field with the crowd going crazy, I don't think they're going back to Philadelphia.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I don't think they're going back.
I mean, do I need to hear that right now?
I don't think they're going
back. I'm going to take my putter and smash it up against your head.
Why? I mean, let's be confident for once, for the love of God.
Listen,
why
am
not?
confident, but why
if you can't love this team, be confident in this team, then what's the point of even rooting for these? What's the point of even watching these games if you can't feel like your team's going to go home and beat the Phillies? And I can't stand. What is it about the Phillies that they're always dirty and disgusting-looking players?
Like, we got Jesse Winker. He's disgusting.
Not anything like the Phillies.
Player, yes.
No
yes,
way.
He looks like he belongs right on the Phillies.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't have as long a hair or
yes,
a beard.
He does.
No, I mean, it's like down here. It's not like down to the middle of his back.
Slamming baseball helmets on home plate. We got our own guys.
Yeah, but no, not anything in the same way as the Philadelphia Phillies, and you know it. Those guys, they're just dirty. They're just dirty.
They look like Razor Ramon,
right? Yes. Perfect.
Well, Castellano, right?
And Nick Castellanos.
Yeah,
yes.
Castellanos.
Yeah.
I sound like a caller. Can't get the names right.
Yeah.
I mean, how quickly did Severino just, like, fall apart?
Yeah.
He goes to cover first base, and, I don't know, he came up limping because he covered first base. Don't these guys practice this all the time?
Well, yeah.
And
spring training.
Next thing you know, it's a walk, then it's a home run, then it's another home run.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, when they go out there and talk, and they go up to guys like this. Hey, let me just tell you something. I got to, we got to keep it outside. Don't give them anything to hit.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think as I cover my mouth for the radio audience, and I'm talking to Gio.
Right.
So, Gio, don't give him anything to hit. Lay it outside. Let's try a couple sliders inside, see if he chases. If he doesn't chase, then we'll just put him on. Isn't that the kind of conversation?
No, see, I think it's sort of like the Bull Durham thing, like where I don't even think they're talking about baseball. They just like try to relax and like, look at the knockers on the one over there above the dugout. Look at that one. That's what I think they're talking about.
You think they're talking about knockers?
I do.
They're not talking about knockers.
Yeah, I mean, they do what they do, man. I don't know.
Jeremy Hefner goes out there and like, listen, I'm going to yank your ass out of this game if you don't effing get this guy out. That's what I would say.
It's like you and me in the breaks. You lean over to me and like, can't believe what's going on with the mayor. It's the same thing.
Well, all right, how about this one?
Yeah.
Can't believe what's going on with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, well, we will get to that, and we'll take our first break. Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS Sports Network on one of the busiest Mondays we have had, and we are live from Glen Oaks Club in Old Westbury for the Boomer Esiason Foundation Golf.